All right, shalom to the hopeful elect. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Kol Halo Yamlah, Allah Yahweh Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who've labored faithfully in His truth. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Habayath Madawadah, the house of David. The brothers laboring to make their calling of election sure, helping seal the elect of the nation of Israel day in and day out, for the return of our Lord Hamashiach Yahushai is at hand, and to the brothers and sisters, the Akim and Akwathim, who also listen and believe on Hamashiach Yahushai, to you I say shalom as well. So shalom, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying out of Warren Ratazah. This lesson is edifying for those that have eyes and see and ears to hear through the Rakak Wadash, which is the Holy Spirit. So I'm going to jump right into it. The premise of the lessons from this article that you see on the screen, and it's from www.nbcnews.com. In this article, I believe it's dated, May the 5th, 2021. And as you see the title, it says, Bill and Melinda Gates are getting divorced, so are increasing numbers of older Americans. So this is going to be the premise of the lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of the article and bring a few precepts. And I got a few stats here as well that I looked up. Once again, Lord willing, this is edifying. So it says, the subtitle, divorce rates have plummeted among young people, even as they have risen among older adults. And it's not just because the population is aging. It says Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates and his wife Melinda take part in an interview with the Associated Press. It says on February the 1st, 2018. After 27 years of marriage, Bill and Melinda Gates are calling it quits. Their high-profile split is emblematic of divorce trends in the United States as a whole. So it says this is becoming what the divorce trends are in the U.S. And now we see this high-profile so-called marriage, being another example of the divorce trends in the U.S., and the Western world as we continue to read on. Increasingly, married couples who break up are in the second half of life. Divorce among middle-aged and older adults is so popular now that researchers like me have a term for it. It's called gray divorce. Gray divorce. It says in the past, many couples will remain in these empty shell marriages largely because separations were stigmatized or couples didn't believe in divorce. So it's speaking about the times before. But the times we're living in now, it says this phenomenon, which refers to divorce among people 50 or older, doubled between 1990 and 2010. So in the last 30 years, this has become a phenomenon, and this has become, this is doubled. The numbers have doubled in the last 30 years because, you see increasingly more and more the earth is going toward a vibration of wickedness and, a demonic society in all facets, in forms. Now, continuing on, it says, with the rate rising from 5% to 1% per year, and has since plateaued at this new high. And a generation ago, less than 10% of divorcees involved a spouse over the age of 50. Nowadays, though, more than 1 in 4 people getting divorced in the U.S. are over 50. So now that's become the norm, So now 1 in 4 people getting divorced, is speaking about those that are over the age of 50. We don't get into, the rest of the numbers and then the numbers in general as when you compile them. It says the growth in gray divorce reflects more than the aging of the population and is additionally striking given that its odds with the general pattern in the U.S. for the past 4 decades. The overall divorce rate has been slowly but steadily declining. It says this modest decrease in divorce reflects diverging trends for younger versus older adults. Divorce rates have plummeted among young people, even as they have risen among older adults. And see those rates, what it says it has plummeted, has went down amongst younger people because, as we go on to, see, and you go through the stats, you realize that younger people between the ages, of 20 to 40, they're not getting married. Continuing on, a primary reason why divorce is falling among young people under 39 is that fewer of them get married in the first place. And those who do marry tend to be more advantaged, it says, in ways that are protective against divorce. For instance, as marriage has increasingly shifted from a ritual inaugurating adulthood to a capstone experience carried out only after young people complete their education and gain financial independence, the risk of divorce has declined among this age group. So the only reason why divorces went down amongst, the age group of the millennials today, is because they're not getting married anymore. So now those who were getting married because of this culture, now they're starting to do what? They're starting to divorce. So that I found that very, very striking that it's like that. Now I have a little more info here. One of the brothers put this in the group, and this is speaking about this trend of divorce. And look at all these people. Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world. Bernard Arnault, Elon Musk is divorced. Now you got Bill Gates on that list, Larry Ellison. These are all like high prominent people within society. And you see in more and more of these people, more and more becoming divorced. You see? So it's all through the spirit of the Lord, and it's all a result of this culture. So as we jump into it, I'll leave this up for a minute. I want to run into a few stats as we leave these names of people up on the screen. You only see a few, who have not gotten divorced on this list of some of the high so-called profile people. And you see these are pretty much primarily Edomites, showing you that the culture that Esau has pushed and given to the world, that his culture is fallen, his Western culture is fallen. Babylon is fallen. The ways, the policies, the practices of this place is fallen because the Most High is about to destroy this place. So I want to get a quick precept just going into that as I bring out a few more stats. So this first precept is getting into the fact that Babylon, America, is fallen, and these Edomites, the wicked of the earth, the children of the wicked in the Bible, they are fallen as well. And now this is the fulfillment of a prophecy that's coming to pass. This is the book of Deuteronomy 30:7, and it reads, "And the Lord Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So we were once persecuted by these Edomites, by these devils, and all the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus, the 26th chapter, now is coming unto our enemies, So the Lord said in Deuteronomy 30:7 that all of the curses that were put on us will start to come and be put back on our enemies, with the true fulfillment of that being the kingdom of heaven. But the start of that, we're seeing it now, that these curses are coming back on our enemies. And this is a curse to them because this guy, Jeff Bezos, his wife went and she's been taking her settlement money, which is in the hundreds and hundreds of millions, if not billions. And she's been giving the money away to organizations like HBCUs and different organizations, non-profit organizations around the country. So these curses are now coming back unto you Edomites, unto you devils. So this is showing that this is the fulfillment of prophecy, is what we're witnessing. So I'm gonna put it back here, and just continue on. Now, I looked up a lot of stats, and when you do a little research, you find out that only 7% of people that get married in America and the Western world, for that matter, which we'll get into that here in a second, which that being Europe and America, only 7% of the couples that get married stay married for a lifetime, which is 50 plus years. 7%. Now these are the raw numbers, these are the stats. 60% of all marriages, no matter the age group, no matter the demographic, 60% of all marriages, in the Western world, and with America being at the forefront of that, 60% of all marriages, 60+%, which is nearly 2/3, of all marriages end in divorce. So 60% of all marriages end in divorce. And 70% of all the marriages in the Western world, with America being at the forefront of that, end in divorce when people have been married multiple times. So now you got 60% of all marriages, no matter the demographic, no matter if you're talking about Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, or whoever, you're seeing that this is just a normal, natural trend in America. And why is this a normal, natural trend in America? Because America's Babylon the Great, and the ways of this place is falling, because Babylon is falling, and the Most High is destroying America at its core, at the fiber of its existence, at the seam, of what's supposed to be the bedrock of life on Earth. It's supposed to be the center, of life, within any so-called civilization, is the family, So now that's being destroyed. And we can sit here and speak about many of the reasons that that's being destroyed. But the point of this lesson is getting into the fact that this Western culture, is trash. It was never meant to last. It was never meant to be something that was going to govern the earth or govern the earth in righteousness. So 60% of all divorces or all marriages end in divorce, 60+% or 2/3, and 70+%, almost 3/4, when people get married another time, 2+ times, over 3/4 or nearly 3/4 of those marriages, they also end in divorce. Now, I continued on and I found some more stats. Another was 14% of couples say that they are happy no matter what the age group or age range is. Only 14% of couples say that they are actually happy within their marriages. Now we already brought the stats out about how only 7% stay married a lifetime, but only 14%. So these numbers are staggering. And why are these numbers staggering? Because, supposedly, based on the way of this world, marriage is supposed to be to death do us part. So why do we see numbers like this? Because these people that's within this society, they only go by the theory and the wine of Babylon, and not by actuality, and not by the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Because at one time in America, school was, people in the late 18 and early 1900s, school was reading from the Bible and following biblical principles. We see that, that way of life has deteriorated because the spirit of America is the spirit of Babylon, because Babylon is America and it's Western culture, which all promotes death, not life, not righteousness. It all promotes wickedness. So this way of living is coming loose once again at the seams, and this way of living is being destroyed through the Spirit of the Lord. So this is all theory and not actuality. So now I got another precept here as we continue on. This is the book of Hosea. This is the book of Hosea 4 and verse 1. Hosea 4:1, and it reads, "Hear the word of the Lord, Yahweh, ye children of Israel. For the Lord Yahweh hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land." The Lord has a controversy with the wicked who's ruling, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and all the nations, who have had, the Lord's people in derision. So the Lord has a controversy with all the nations, with all the inhabitants of the land. Hosea 4:1, continuing on, because there's no truth in this land, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. See, all the truth, knowledge, and mercy, of the Holy Scriptures have been taken out of the earth. So that's why the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, said he has a controversy with this land. Let's get another precept real quick. Just adding to that point, this is the book of Isaiah 24 and verse 5, and it reads, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof." And once again, this earth, is under the rule of the wicked. Job 9 and 24. It says the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, Isaiah 24 and 5, because they have transgressed the law. So that's why the earth is defiled, because they don't follow the laws of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Changed the ordinance and broken the everlasting covenant. See, because they have transgressed the laws and broken the ordinances and changed the everlasting covenant, meaning they've disannulled and disregarded the laws, statutes and commandments, which is the righteous way of living and the righteous way of governance on the earth of the Most High. They've done away and put the Most High, they've X'd him out. They've X'd out the truth. That's why it says, because there's no truth, nor knowledge, nor mercy, in the land. So this is getting into the point that Western culture, is the reason why, which once again, Western culture, funnels and pushes the wine of Babylon. So now let's get a few more precepts. Let's jump into it. Let's go to the book of Genesis 3, because the Lord just said, the scripture just said, because there's no truth, knowledge, or mercy in the land, or knowledge of the Most High in the land, and because they've broken the covenants and the laws of the Most High. That's why this earth is defiled, it's destroyed, So the fabric of this world, is being run by the wicked, and the wicked is promoting nothing but wickedness on the earth. As it said in 2 Ezra 15, the wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And that's how, and that's why, because the rulers of the earth is the wicked that's ruling. So, the wicked being in rulership has resulted in the earth taking on the practices and ways, of Esau Edom, which in turn has destroyed the earth. Earth is in the worst case scenario than it's ever been. So let's go back and get some understanding dealing with marriage, because we've heard all these different numbers, and we see day by day, the result and the product of Western culture. But now let's get it here in Genesis 3:16, and it reads, "Unto the woman," this is the Most High speaking, "He said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband." So the woman's desire was made to be to her man, to her husband. "And he shall rule over thee." So the man is supposed to rule over the woman. So this culture that we currently live in, this culture of Western culture, which funnels in all the subcultures, black culture, freedom of living, freedom of choice, freedom of all these things. This is all funneled through Western culture. And we're going to get that, and we're going to show that here, in a second. We'll get the understanding and show the result of Western culture. So let's continue on. This is the book of Genesis 3. Once again, in 16, the last part, it says, "And he shall rule," speaking of thy husband, "and he shall rule over thee." So the rule of the man is supposed to be over the woman. When you look up that word rule, it goes back to the Hebrew word H4910, and it's masal. The word rule means masal. And that word rule means to have dominion, to reign, to exercise dominion over. So the man is supposed to have complete dominion over the woman, which that means he's supposed to be in a position of authority. As it is written, the woman is the weaker vessel. The man is supposed to have authority over the woman. Now, when you go back into the Bible, the woman pertaining to God's laws, not pertaining to Western culture, but pertaining to the laws of the Most High, the woman doesn't have the right to divorce a man. And in the ancient world, it wasn't a normal practicing thing that the man would divorce a woman, but that right was given to the man. So that woman would have had to been completely out of order, or be wicked for a man to divorce her. Showing you that this culture promotes a culture where women can divorce a man, where that right is given to anyone. It doesn't matter. Now, for the man to have dominion, meaning to have complete authority, meant that the woman was subjected unto him. The woman was made to be in subjection unto the man. And that's all throughout the Holy Scriptures, and we'll get a few examples of that. But I'm going to continue on with Western culture, because see, Western culture promotes something other than, which is separate than what the laws of the Most High say. So when you look up Western culture, it's often called Western civilization, which right there, it shows you the mind of these devils. Why the scriptures say that Esau is a proud man. Because when you look up, once again, Western culture, it tells you it's often called Western civilization, meaning that these Edomites believe that their way of living is the civilized, righteous way, when they don't follow none of the laws of the Most High, but they put on the money in God we trust, showing you, how big of hypocrites and liars that these Edomites are. The devil's a liar. This devil has lied and deceived the whole world. So, Western culture is often called Western civilization or Occidental culture. And when you go into the word Occidental, it means countries of the West, which would consist of Europe and the Americas primarily. Now it's other nations that take on those practices too, and we're gonna get to that through the Spirit, going into how Babylon, has the whole world drunken. Now, as we continue on, it says Occidental culture, which is Western culture or Western civilization, is also known as European civilization. So the Europeans, as they have conquered, many parts of the world, the so-called French, Dutch, English, Spanish, these Americans who are just a conglomerate of all of those different nations, all of these different nations, the Italians, so on and so forth, all the so-called Europeans, the French, all these Europeans, that they have conquered many parts of the world and set up dominion and rulership throughout the earth. It says they've pushed forth European civilizations or colonialism, setting up colonies, colonizing these different parts of the earth. They colonized throughout Africa, throughout the Americas. They did the same thing in Australia and New Zealand and many different places. North, South Africa, the West Coast, all throughout Africa, and on into, different parts of Eurasia. Now, it says Western European civilization, which is also a part of Western culture, is the heritage of social norms, ethical values, beliefs, and political systems, artifacts, and technologies of the Western world, primarily from European countries of origin unto American culture, which consists, once again, of the U.S., Canada, North, South, and Central America. So now, why is all of that important? Well, all of that is important because the influence of the so-called Europeans, which are the Edomites in the Bible, which is the children of the wicked, they have influenced the world in a way in which no other group of people have. Because even over into Taiwan and different parts of Asia and Japan, you have a heavy influence of American culture, which is Western culture, which is Western civilization, which the main theme of this video is going into the fact that divorce is normal and the norm in Western culture. So that these other nations who've drunken the wine of Babylon, they have adopted, the theology of the Edomites. So the scriptures say that Babylon has made the whole earth drunk with its wine and its mixed drink. So let's jump into that a little bit. This is the book Revelation 17. I'm going to start at verse 1. And the title of this in the blue letter is The Doom of Babylon. Revelation 17:1, it says, "And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore." And who's that great whore? Babylon the Great, Mystery Babylon the Great, which is America, that sitteth upon many waters. And Babylon sits upon many waters. When you read like a book in the book of Habakkuk, it talks about how she never keepeth at home, because they have many consulates, embassies, and military bases throughout the earth. They have the most, almost 300 at last count. So that shows that Babylon the Great, she spread throughout the whole earth, and she will be sitting upon many waters, meaning within the midst of many nations and countries. And those waters is the seas, throughout the seven seas, in the oceans and on all continents. Verse 2, Revelation 17:2, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication." So all the kings and the nations of the earth have committed fornication, meaning that they have went into business and went into doing trade, and taking on the systems of government that America has pushed throughout the earth. It says, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And what is that wine? The wine is, once again, we know, get into the philosophies. The wine of her fornication, that's how Babylon makes the earth to err, is by allowing the nations to fornicate, which is to do what? Take on the ways of the wicked, which is wickedness, to transgress the laws, to go into the way of wickedness, and to not regard the people of the Most High, not regard the truth of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, So now, that's made the earth drunk with the wine of her fornication, it says. Verse 3, so he carried me away into the spirit, into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet beast, which is Babylon, full of names of blasphemy. See, all the names of blasphemy come from Babylon, having 7 heads and 10 horns. It's a European Union and NATO. So now, what is that? What are those names of blasphemy that the scriptures are speaking of? Because it said Babylon had these names of blasphemy. So when you go into those names of blasphemy, that's going into the wine, which is freedom of religion, meaning you can be and believe in anything you want. You can be a devil worshiper. You can worship Satan. You can be, agnostic. You can be a Wicca. All this getting into any form of worshiping the wicked. You could be any religion, going into being atheist, a Muslim. You could be a Christian, a Catholic. You can be Hindu, a Nuwabian. You can get into the Black unconscious community, going into a lot of our people who are into the worship of women, the 5%ers. So on and so forth. You can get into any form of way of thinking that you want, any form of theology that you want, whether it's polytheistic or monotheism, a belief in one God or many gods. You can truly believe whatever you want to believe. So that, in the scriptures is known, once again, as the wine of Babylon and fornication. So that wine and fornication, is the freedom of religion, the freedom of choice. You can choose to do whatever it is you want to do, which goes back to the theory of do as thou wilt, Aleister Crowley. This all comes from Western European theology. So freedom of religion. This is going into, those the wine. This is going into the wine and their blasphemy. And they blaspheme the Lord, and they blaspheme the truth. When you push for freedom of religion, what you're saying is that the Holy Scriptures don't have any validity. The Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the God of the Israelites, you're saying that He's not real. He doesn't exist. Democracy, which truly, when you go into that word, it goes into the rule of demon rule. But democracy, which promotes all people being one and coming together, which that went on during the time of the Tower of Babel in Genesis, the 11th chapter. And the Most High, scattered the nations and confused the languages for that reason. But democracy, coming together and being one, which is why America is called the great melting pot. Idolatry, worshiping idols. So now the Lord said He's going to do away with all the idols, in all the earth, which is all the idols of the other so-called gods, which are no gods, and the other ways of believing and thoughts. All those things, those figurines and all those different statues are going to be destroyed. Homosexuality is part of the, that blasphemy, and part of those, that fornication and wine. Homosexuality being that homosexuals get, greater rights than so-called straight people do in the society. Heterosexual people. So homosexuality being pushed, that they can marry, that they can adopt children, etc. And then also sexual promiscuity, which is adultery. That women, can dress how they want to, can live how they want to. They have the freedom of choice You know, if they want to do whatever they want to do, if they want to have an abortion, they can make that decision. You know, if they want to live wild and free and have many multiple sexual partners at a time, they want to be polyamorous. That's the term for that. Or if they want to be pansexual, you know, be attracted to whoever or whatever they want. That's the freedom, which is all going into the fornication. And this is blasphemy against the Most High, you know, and this is wine and mixed drink. Black culture. This country promotes covetousness and black culture, which is murder, death, drugs, you know, gang banging. All of it is just wickedness. Now, why is this important? Let's go down to verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold, because see, the ways of Babylon to the eye, you know, it looks like a righteous place. It's the fulfillment of all the things that a natural person would want to do. You got the freedom to do whatever you want to do or be whatever you want to be. So that on the outside looking in, that looks good. So Babylon was decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, and this is one of the richest nations, you know, to ever be in the history of the earth, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations. See, all of these things that look good were nothing but a cup full of abominations, and the filthiness of her fornication. See, this place is filthy because it's an unrighteous land. Verse 5, and upon her forehead was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. So the abominations of the earth reside right here in Babylon the Great, which is America, you know. So another one of the main wines, which is the philosophies of Babylon, is feminism. So we see the result of the marriages, you know, and divorces ending in divorce. And the numbers, once again, are staggering. Nearly 2/3 of all marriages, once again, end in divorce. And almost three-fourths of marriages of people who've been married multiple times, those end in divorce as well. You know, only 7% of people who get societal marriage, because real marriage is when a man and a woman lay down and have sex. And the proof of that is when Yahushua told the woman at the well that she had, you know, many husbands. You know, she had many husbands. She had 5 husbands, actually. You know, and that proves what marriage truly is. But once again, the societal marriage, this marriage of Western culture, you know, that's being pushed, it doesn't work. You know, this way of living, it does not work. And it does not promote righteousness. You know, it only promotes wickedness. So, feminism is one of the main wines, which is the philosophies of Babylon. And it started off as the Women's Suffrage Act. You know, feminism is the advocacy for women's rights and to be equal with man, which once again, the scriptures tell you the woman is the weaker vessel. It says it also turned into the women's liberation, which is also known as the woman's emancipation. The emancipation of the woman. To do what? To be free to do what? To choose what she wants to do whatever she wants to do. You know, which created a lot of programs, government programs that women by and large, you know, use in order to have what they deem is equality within society, which truly Jeremiah 31 and 22 says the woman has surpassed the man. Which is also the women's liberation and women's emancipation. It equal to what? The freedom of choice for women, socially, politically, morally, and ethically. And this led to autonomy, which means self-governance, which goes into the fact that the woman not needing a man anymore. You know, she's basically married to the society. So that led to autonomy, which was self-governance, and the woman feeling like she didn't need a man anymore, which pushed forth feminism on a higher level. So we're in a high level of feminism within this culture, this Western culture. You know, which that makes this culture a matriarchy, not a patriarchy, the rule of women. So this is the freedom of expression, but that autonomy is why we have people nowadays saying that they're self-made, that I don't need no man, or I don't need this, or I don't need that, or I did this all by myself. So, I just wanted to share that and then go over one more precept through the Spirit. See if I get one more precept before I end this video out. All right, this is the book of 1 Corinthians. I want to make a quick point. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, and the second verse, and it reads, matter of fact, I'll start from the top. 1 Corinthians 11:1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. It's Apostle Paul speaking here, and this is going into order. It says, now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them unto you. That's the laws, statutes, and commandments. Verse 3. But I would have you know that at the head of every man is Hamashiach, and at the head of the woman is the man, and at the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. So just as Yahweh Shai, his head is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, man is the head of the woman on earth. That's the order of things. So the order of things have been completely reversed, as we read, earlier in the precept going into Isaiah 24 in verse 5. Because the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, and they have not kept the everlasting covenant. They've done away with the law, statutes, and commandments. There's no truth, nor knowledge, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. So that's why this place is defiled. And the core of Babylon, the infrastructure, the moral and ethical fiber, is destroyed. So now we see it in Babylon imploding from within. And then now the financial part, and etc., so on and so forth. So that's all due to the deterioration of Western culture. And Western culture was never, ever, a good thing for the earth. It's only been a pollutant to the earth, through its theology. So with that, I hope that was edifying for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear through the Rechak Kodash. I say Brakateh Yahweh, Brakateh Yahushai, Brakateh Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rechak Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles from Yad, as always. The true teachers of Israel today. Peace, love, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, Habayath Madawadah, and to the Akim and Akwathim who listen and believe on Hamashiach Yahushai, Wa Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. To you I say Shalom as well. So Shalom, Abba-Babal, 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 Kwam Yasha Allah, Kwam Yasha Allah.